When she stepped in front of the old lady grandma dragon, I was like, no, please. I don't. Please, no.
Are people calling her like Meemaw?
Yeah. Meemaw dragon.
Meemaw Vagar.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Costume Blogcast. I'm Elizabeth Joy Glass.
Se Ixen Axio, Spencer Williams. That's some hype Velaryon for you, Elizabeth.
Okay, Spencer.
Wow, I studied for you.
That just came out of nowhere. Dude, is that really on Duolingo?
Yes, I've been doing it every day for about 5 to 10 minutes, but I realized after a sober day yesterday, I was like, maybe I should start learning Spanish because I don't think Velaryon's going to get me very far, especially the way you just reacted to my first bit of...
I was very confused. I didn't understand what was happening for a second, and then I remembered. Oh, but aside from that, how's it going?
It's going good. I just saw Harry Styles the other night, so that was fun. That was a good time. Needed my Saturday to recover from that.
I didn't peg you for a Harry Styles fan.
I mean, his music's amazing. He's amazing. And then, like, everyone's right. Once you're there in his presence, something like really feral takes over your body. And I just, yeah. I was one of those people in the parking lot that was like almost on the verge of tears.
Something feral?
Also because it took...
Something feral, Spencer. Okay.
You don't understand until you go through it. I'm sure everyone listening is nodding their head right now.
Okay. I'm going to trust you. I don't really, but I will.
How are you?
I'm fine. I went to a drag brunch yesterday. So that was that was a lot of fun.
That was fun. Lots of drinks.
Lots of drinks. They had like lots of mimosas, but they had a mimosa called the Bitchy Witchy mimosa. And I loved it. It was purple and sparkly, and it had like some blueberries thrown in there. So that was fun.
Wow, that sounds good right now. I'm thirsty.
It was at a bar called the Fainting Goat, which I found hilarious.
Where is this?
It's in Pennsylvania. Where do you think?
Well, Elizabeth, some good news.
Yeah.
We have a special guest with us today who is one of our guest hosts. She is one of our good friends. She's also a contributor at the Art of Costume. She runs so many cool blogs. She works in the industry. Our friend, Emily Stipcak. Welcome, Emily.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
We're so excited for you to join us. How's it going?
I'm excited to be here. It's going well. It's busy, you know. Last night, my friend. Yeah, Halloween weekend. It's crazy time.
Did you do anything fun this weekend besides do this with us?
Yeah, this is the only fun thing that's in my life right now. No, I'm kidding. Pretty up there, though.
Good.
My friend had a Halloween party last night, which was pretty fun.
Ooh.
Tell us about it, because I was clearly in bed. Elizabeth was at drag brunch, so I need to live through you.
Well, I spent the day trying to figure out my last minute Halloween costume.
Nice.
Been there.
Yep, it was a struggle, but we did it. I used most of my friends' clothing and wigs. And I was Wanda, you know, Cosmo and Wanda.
Nice.
My boyfriend was supposed to be Cosmo, but there was an issue.
Oh, come on,
we couldn't find the stuff in time. So I was divorced, Wanda.
Oh,
Wanda is the best part of the Fairly Odd Parents. Let's just all admit that.
this is true.
Yeah.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
true.
With that being said, we brought Emily here because we have a huge episode ahead of us.
Yeah.
1,000,002 costumes, and we need someone who's an expert in all things Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. That being said, Elizabeth, we're watching House of the Dragon.
Yes. Emily, what did you think?
That ending, so good.
Right.
And the costumes were chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, this show was amazing. I feel like we all were kind of nervous. I don't know, because Game of Thrones didn't end very well for some people. I'm not one of those people. I still think it's
I
fun.
am.
I know. So there was a lot of pressure on the House of the Dragon. If it would have been bad, it would have been over. You know, Game of Thrones would have been totally done. And it exceeded expectations for me.
It definitely exceeded expectations. I mean, I was excited as soon as they announced that Matt Smith was going to be in it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this, like, at least I'll have Matt Smith, even if nothing else is good. And then they just like blew it out of the water.
Oh my God. I was actually like, when I heard it was Matt Smith, I was like unsure about it. And then
Really?
so I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff, which is probably my problem. But
Oh, okay.
when I saw him, like first episode, I was like, oh God, he's so good. So good.
Yeah.
He was perfect. They did a great job.
I was kind of in the same camp as Emily. I was like, Matt Smith. And then I saw Morbius and I was like, Matt Smith. And then this came out and I was like, Matt Smith.
You never bet against Matt Smith. He is superb. But before we spoil anything, Spencer, do you want to give a summary?
I do. Nearly 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, the Targaryens and the realm are divided by King Viserys' decision to name his daughter Rhaenyra heir to the realm, despite having sons by his second wife. After years of tension, miscommunication, and Alicent's pettiness, I wonder who wrote this, the House of the Dragon is on the brink of civil war. And that is House of the Dragon. Elizabeth, did you write this summary?
Yeah, I did. Hey, it's spoilers from here on out. And like, I'm sorry, this is all Alicent's pettiness because she just could not go talk to her friends back in the day. That's all this is.
So true.
It's a very bad game of telephone.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But let's get to the good part and go behind the wardrobe. We have series creators Ryan J. Condal and George R.R. Martin with costume designer Jany Temime, which Spencer,
Yay.
we've had her on the show before for the Black Widow episode.
Yeah, we're big fans of Jany. She does not miss with her costumes.
She doesn't. And you can tell that just from her notable work of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Bridget Jones' Diaries, Edge of Reason, Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, Children of Men, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which she got a Costume Designers Guild Award, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Part 2, she also got a Costume Designer Guild Award for. Skyfall, another Costume Designer Guild Award. Judy and Black Widow. And I think like 90% of the Harry Potter she worked on got nominated for Oscars. Like,
Jany does not miss. She is a costume killer. Yeah, just beautiful work. And when I heard she was attached to this show, I already was like, I'm so ready.
they needed someone like her because they had to create 2,500 costumes for the show.
Wow.
So they couldn't have somebody who was messing around. And Jany told Tadler that she wanted to create a beautiful version of something that viewers would be interested in wearing themselves. One way people connect with characters is if who they see on screen resembles them in some way. So you need to draw inspiration from many places. So she was like, we are recapturing this audience.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. And the showrunners also were like, okay, we got to recapture this audience, create a whole new look. Because Jany said to Vanity Fair France that right away, the showrunner said to me, it's spring. Winter hasn't arrived yet. It wasn't winter's coming, but spring is there. In Game of Thrones, there were a lot of black and gray colors. They wanted renewal, which you can totally see in this show. For the episodes you can see.
That totally makes sense. Now that I'm thinking back on it, Game of Thrones was very dark. You would never see like bright reds like Rhaenyra wears or bright greens. That would have been startling in Game of Thrones.
No, like when I thought about that, like even thinking of like Daenerys, you never see her in a bright red. It's always like very dark reds she wears, and she never wears anything fully red in the show, I don't think. But in this, they have color left, right, and center. Also, in terms of creating a whole new look, Jany spoke to Vanity Fair France some more, saying the story takes place at the height of the Targaryen civilization. So to show it, I used a lot of elements from the Renaissance, and I also worked on a lot of Oriental elements, like long Moroccan earrings or the gold of the Byzantines. I had other underlying influences for the cuts. For example, I found a samurai skirt and thought the character of Matt Smith absolutely had to wear a skirt. A warrior in pants is boring. So she was like pulling out all the stops for this show.
That's a solid quote.
But talking of Matt Smith's character, Spencer, should we take a little break before we jump into Daemon?
Yeah, I need to take a little break and start putting my dragon eggs on a fire or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if we're going to take over the world, Spencer, you got to start hatching those dragon eggs.
Emily, are you ready for this?
I am. I think I am. Definitely am.
Okay,
Good. We'll be back.
What's up, costume nerds? This is Spencer, co-host and producer of the Art of Costume Blogcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We greatly appreciate all the support. If you want to continue in your support, you can become a costume maven at patreon.com/theartofcostume. There we post unheard bloopers, highlights, and bonus episodes for our costume mavens. You can even chat with other listeners and vote on future episodes. Head over to patreon.com/theartofcostume and subscribe now. Are you ready to get into the House of the Dragon?
Ooh, yeah.
The show starts with this crazy opening. It's all of 15 seconds long, but already I already knew we were in for something amazing. It is at the king's moment where he's supposed to choose his next heir. Should have been Rhaenys, but he chose good old Viserys and, starts the whole story. But I wanted to talk about this real quick because I don't know what you guys thought, but when I saw all these costumes, I already was like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, like you said, it's like 15 seconds, but that first 15 seconds tells you everything. It's like, okay, this is gonna be messy and there's gonna be drama and everybody's gonna look gorgeous all the way through.
100%. And the king sitting on his throne, so regal, and then doesn't it like zoom out and you see more?
Yeah, you see like all the soldiers lining the room and people and the sets, and it's crazy.
So good.
I want to go back and watch it now because I don't really remember. Like this first episode was such a whirlwind, and now looking back at everything we've gone through, probably after this podcast, I will.
Yeah, same. It's just like, dang, looking at this, I'm like, all of this messiness could have been avoided if he just named his daughter heir. Because then she already had her son. He would have been next in line. Everybody would have been happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one person who is never happy, we have Daemon.
Oh, man. I became a fast Daemon fan. I think by the first episode, I already was like, okay, no, that's not true. Second episode, because first episode when he does that street cleaning,
He's a little
moment.
bratty. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which, like, I'm like kind of upset with how much I like Daemon, but like you can't help but love him. And Jany really loved Daemon. She talked to Vanity Fair about him a little bit. She said he was sublime to dress. A sexy villain is superb. I love dressing men in general, doing men's tailoring. I can't stand the shapeless baggy trend. I love a well-drawn body.
Okay.
So she was like ready to dress Matt Smith.
Emily, what did you think of Daemon's costumes?
I love them, especially, I mean, even these 3 pictures, just that the detail in the middle. And his, what was the armor that he wore when he got the note from the king? And it's like, it's like a meme now.
Yeah, it's so solid. I just love all the textures. I love the use of dragon scale and all the Targaryen looks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think my favorite was that knight armor he wears. That is some solid armor.
I love some good armor.
The armor in this was excellent. Janine told Tattler, even though I loved the armor, it was difficult to design Daemon's armor, especially because I thought it was extremely important. When it comes to his helmet, I didn't want to do just any kind of mask. I wanted to create a sexy dragon. Helmets aren't the prettiest, and it's hard to create a beautiful face on a mask, but we succeeded.
Yeah, I agree. That armor was so cool. I was in.
Same. And like, I love all the detail, the dragon face, and just how it changes in each situation. Like the fancy, like knight armor for a tournament, the like really bulky gold cloak where it's like, yeah, I'm here to be intimidating.
Yeah.
And then the much more practical, like at war armor, like he has an armor for every occasion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The armor he wears to go meet the crab feeder. That's some solid.
So good.
Yeah, just so good. I will say my only thing is Daemon's wigs are just, they take me out of it like ever so slightly.
Till the end.
Everyone, yeah, by the end you get used to it, but that first time you see him, you're like, what is happening?
Yeah, no, like Matt Smith, you're kind of like long hair on Matt Smith, like not the biggest fan, but like it by the end, like they've got a good look for him. But also like that's part of like kind of like Daemon's evolution, because it's like he's got like his rebellious, like younger Targaryen, like brother phase where he's just like trying to win his brother's approval, but like in his way, not the way that would actually work. And then he acts like he doesn't care and like goes off across the sea, which I like because like during that time period, he never wears anything like black or red, like nothing to indicate he's a Targaryen, because he's like, well, I'm never going to be king, so bye. And then he comes back around and he's back in black and looks better than ever.
And now he's just like our favorite husband who also abuses Rhaenyra, but like, you know.
I think between seasons we all need to take a hard look at ourselves as to why we all like Daemon so much.
Really sad.
Somebody I don't ever feel bad about liking is King Viserys. Like,
right?
What a sweet old man.
He's such a lovable guy. I saw in him, like, there was times where he did things and you're like, that wasn't a good decision. but like, he honestly has good heart, like through all of these decisions, except for the very first episode, kind of a rough episode for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from that point forward, you could just see that he's just really over the family drama and just wants things to be peaceful and move on. That's why they call him Viserys the Peaceful, which I don't know if it's that cool of a name, but I respect it.
But he's like, hey, I kept shit calm. Can any of you say the same?
Yeah.
But Jany also loved dressing Viserys. She said, I readapted him for the long sleeveless jackets that suit men so well. I used it for the Death Eaters in Harry Potter. It gave them a real elegance. Men walk elegantly as soon as they wear a long jacket. They show their silk, caress their velvet. I noticed the same coquetry in the actresses as in the actors. So she was like, I'm making him look good so that he is regal and like loves his clothes, which he does. He dresses well.
Yeah, I love his costumes. I especially love all of his shoulders too. What is that like shoulder cut that they do so well in Game of Thrones? Like the slight, I don't know, badass sleeve. It's like a badass Game of Thrones sleeve. I don't know how to explain it, but it's
That's
just
the
cool.
name.
Yeah.
It's like a variation of like a cap sleeve, I think.
Yeah.
And I do love all the studding in Viserys' looks. It did remind me of the Death Eaters, which is pretty badass too, because the Death Eaters use like a lot of studding. So I see that in Viserys.
I like it because it's like pretty simple. Well, it looks like it's simple, but it actually has a lot of detail to it. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like it fits him because he's not one for like crazy over the top fashion statements.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely is a little bit more like cool and collected. It's all about the small details. What he should have been wearing was some armor sitting on that chair though, because clearly that was a mistake for him.
Yeah. He did not judge well.
Some protective wear.
Who should also be wearing some protective wear now? Otto Hightower.
Yeah, to protect from who? You?
From me, from Rhaenyra is coming after his ass. You know she is now.
Yeah. Otto Hightower sucks.
Yeah, really. One of the worst characters.
Yeah, I think I hate him more than anyone else in the show, by far. Whenever I see...
Even Kristen Cole?
I think it's Sir Cole and then him.
No, it's still Otto and then Sir Cole for me.
I guess. Yeah, because he's manipulated Alicent within like an inch of her life.
Yes, he's the reason for all of this to me.
Yeah.
He is the problem. Alicent and Kristen are just like a part of his master plan.
That's true.
I feel gross.
I feel gross.
That's true. And when Jany was talking to Vanity Fair France, she talked a lot about like how she collaborates with actors. And when she was dressing Rhys, who played Otto Hightower, she said she ended up having a conversation where he told her, I want a collar between Karl Lagerfeld and the shirt I wear in Ibiza. It was his way of telling me he wanted a collar that was a bit higher but still open. However, he cannot wear armor. It suffocates him physically. So we made a half armor. It's very important to listen to actors and bring the costumes to life. I don't work for Madame Tussauds. So she was like, I need to work with these people to make it something they're comfortable in, but that also, works for the show. And I gotta say, I like the high open collar because it makes him even more menacing than he already is.
Yeah. The Otto costume is pretty nice. I will give him that. It does look very sophisticated. He does look a little bit more wise and scholarly. I love the textiles. It kind of reminds me of what Tyrion wears in Game of Thrones, actually, who they both end up being Hand of the King.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And because it's like until he's like pushing Alicent to like, overthrow Rhaenyra, like he's a smart guy. Like he does seem to want the best until he's thrown out because he like can't get past the fact that his grandsons won't be, king.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we have sweet young Alicent played by Emily Carey. Ugh, I miss this Alicent.
Oh, yeah.
I thought young Alicent was so cool. I mean, she obviously makes horrible decisions, but I do not hate Alicent as much as everyone else hates Alicent.
I hate older Alicent. I don't hate this younger Alicent. There's like a difference. There's a difference.
I felt bad for the younger Alicent.
Yes, absolutely. But like, I love her wardrobe because it really shows like a transition from like just this young, noble woman, very modest, covered up, very light colors to, as soon as the king dies, her dad's like, put on your mother's gowns, which, very dark colors, a bit more revealing, like pulled closer to the body, like very, very mature compared to like her loose cuts with like the long sleeves long billowy sleeves she was wearing before.
Yeah, my favorite costume of hers is that blue one that has all the like rectangular cutouts in the collar.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful dress, and one of her more, I guess I see more pictures of this one on the internet than any others.
Yeah, because it's really a beautiful gown, and it's like sexy and revealing in like a Game of Thrones way. I feel like that's like what it was. But then as she's queen, Jany told Grazia, when Alicent is first married and she's being a nice wife before she discovers things are rotten in her kingdom, she is dressed up in black and red as a queen. Because she was like, I'm a Targaryen now. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do, dress in red and black to support my king.
Right. She said we could act the part for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she's not acting. At first, she really is like as enthusiastic as one could be. She is ready to go for it. She's a family person. She wants to have kids. Dress like, who doesn't want to be the queen of Westeros?
Yeah. She doesn't think twice about the fact that Rhaenyra is going to like inherit the kingdom. She's just like trying to be a good wife and mother. But I do love her cuts because they're very maternal. They're very modest. Like even her V-neck is very like it only seems extreme. It's not really. It's actually quite shallow. She has all like these squared off necklines, like nothing revealing at all about her costumes.
Right. Emily, what did you think of young Alicent's costumes?
I really liked them. I liked the one that had like the woven top, the white one where she wore to the tournament.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I liked that woven detail, and I liked that you could see the change from when she the change in her mindset through her costume later on.
Right. That's a very good point, actually. I think for her more than any other character, you could see her mindset through her costumes, especially when she switches to that green dress before they switch, before they go through the aging up process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for that green dress, Jany actually got a lot of inspiration from Queen Elizabeth's very vibrant wardrobe. She said to Grazier, in this world, one of the only ways for Alicent to express themselves is color. I remember when Queen Elizabeth wore a blue hat in the middle of Brexit. That was her subtle way of saying she was against Brexit. So if Queen Elizabeth is doing it, why shouldn't Alicent appear in a full green to say, no, I am a Hightower before I am a Targaryen?
Wow.
So I was like...
That's badass costume design right there.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the comparisons? First of all, I love this dress. It is a beautiful dress. The second I saw it, I was like, wow, that's like a showstopper.
Yeah.
But have you seen all the comparisons of this Alicent to like Fiona and Shrek?
Yes.
I mean, you have to see it.
Yeah.
all the Shrek House of Dragon comparisons in general are hilarious.
It's just so there. Like you can't look away because there's something in Shrek for everything that happens in House of the Dragon.
There was also another thing that happens in Shrek and House of the Dragon, a wedding for Alicent, but we don't get to see it. And I'm totally gonna buy the box set because there is this beautiful wedding gown. Janine told Vanity Fair that there's one costume missing because the scene was cut. Alicent's wedding dress. That's a shame. She was white with red sleeves to show that she was part of the family, House Targaryen. You shouldn't cry for a costume that goes away, but hey, I really cried.
Oh.
This is a gorgeous piece, and I'm so sad we don't get to see it.
I would cry too. It's so beautiful. I can't believe we got the foot fetish scene, but not the wedding scene.
Right? Right?
Yeah, what?
I'm sorry, we can't have like one happy wedding scene. Like, I guess they're like, no, we don't do happy weddings. We only do sad, violent weddings.
Unless you're marrying your uncle.
Unless you're marrying your uncle. That's right. That's right. Speaking of, we have young Rhaenyra, played by Millie Elcock. And she is one person who just like in the show, she knows who she is and like isn't going to change for anybody or any situation through this whole thing.
Yeah, I loved Millie, by the way. This girl deserves an Emmy. She killed it as Rhaenyra. So good. And all her costumes were badass. One of my personal favorites is the one she wore to the tournament with that dramatic, huge collar.
Oh, yeah.
That's a badass costume. I just fell in love with it immediately.
That's a great one. I also loved the one she wore to the hunt. Where I
was going to say the same thing.
Yes, because it's like, it's so strong, but so feminine in her. It's like perfect.
Yeah. And then when she's all bloody and like...
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good scene.
That is a good scene.
I love it. And she sees like the white stag and she totally is like, yeah, get out of here. I'm like, this is badass queen energy, everyone.
It is. And the badass queen energy continues with her investiture. Jany told Grazia that I was inspired by the Moroccan bride when I was designing for the Rhaenyra investiture costume. I found an old image and she had very long earrings and something on the head. That image just stayed with me. I wanted the dress to look quite frail. We see her getting dressed and I want the first image to be of a girl. After that, she put the cape on and I wanted the cape to look heavy. It actually was. But putting the cape on, she put the whole kingdom on top of her shoulders.
Whoa. Yeah, that costume is so stunning. And I totally see that too with the cape. It is so heavy. She has a whole kingdom on her shoulders. Kind of. I mean, it gets ripped off of her. But in that moment, she has the whole kingdom on top of her shoulders.
She does. And I love the Moroccan inspiration. She said to Tatler that it was the second hardest costume was Rhaenyra's coronation dress because she wanted it to look antique for the time and something that was cultural but not too recognizable. She said, their world is completely fantasy and it's difficult when you're trying to create a unique, antique, and special dress. So it's like, this was supposed to be like a passed down piece. And she was like, oh, we don't really have like a visual history for this kingdom. So she was like, gotta make this look old, but still part of the world.
Right.
Yeah. This might be one of my favorites. It's definitely up there.
Oh, a potential one costume to rule them all for Emily.
Potential, for sure.
I love that because it is. It's just like, I love it too because in this moment, she's like completely deciding who she wants to be, and like there's no going back for her after this.
Yeah.
Also a scene there's really no going back from is her first wedding.
Her first.
Her first wedding. And in this scene, I feel like you can see a lot of like the Byzantine inspiration Janine had. She said to Grazia, it was important to think about the Byzantine time because the gold means power, the rubies and emeralds as well. Everything means wealth. And I feel like before the whole like fight breaks out, like her father's whole plan with this, because it was supposed to be like, what, 7 days like leading up to the wedding?
Something like that. It was going to be a party week in King's Landing.
A party week in King's Landing was supposed to show them like, hey, we're wealthy, we're powerful, like, no, you're not happy she's going to be your next ruler, but everything's going to be okay. And I feel like that's really what this outfit shows, even though it wasn't supposed to be her wedding gown, though. It's very bridal, especially as we know it. And I love the cape that's supposed to be the one he puts on her shoulders with the Velaryon crest and the Targaryen on the same cape. I loved that.
Yeah, it's such a cool element. It's so beautiful to look at. And I love the way that the black and the blue work together. I really do love House Velaryon and House Targaryen together.
Yeah.
They're just like a good group of people together. But I loved that eventually wedding dress that she wears. Just the text on it was so beautiful. And it just she looked so young, but also so queen alike. I don't know. It was great. But that whole episode, I was stressed. I knew it was a wedding episode, and I honestly barely remember like the first 40 minutes because I was just like,
oh no, there's a wedding.
What's gonna happen?
I almost wish they had left in like Alicent's wedding and just made it like a nice wedding. So that like when this comes, it's like, oh, maybe things are going to be okay. We had a wedding. It was fine. But once...
Leave us a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe it was too obvious. Like they knew that we would see that. They'd be like, okay, we gave them something nice. Now it's about to go south.
Exactly. What I do love about this dress, though, is because like the Velaryons are all about like being seamen, the ocean. This dress like has like that like netting pattern on it, so I'm like, oh, that's like the Velaryon. Then it has all these like gold details and rubies, and that's Targaryen. And like I love that through all the pieces of this costume, like she's communicating like, yeah, she's joining House Velaryon, but she's still a Targaryen who's going to be your ruler. Especially with the cloak, because in the Game of Thrones, when Sansa gets married to Tyrion and they have the cloak with like the lion head on the back to be like, nope, she's a Lannister now. With this cloak, they're kind of saying the opposite. They're like, no, she's always going to be a Targaryen, with the Targaryen and the Velaryon crests on here.
I mean, potential wedding ideas for myself, honestly. Like, I'm loving this idea. It's
Truly.
so cool.
So cool. Also, that necklace.
Oh.
I just want to give a little shout out to that necklace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
The jewelry game in this show is next level.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Before we go to break, we need to talk about Sir Criston just real quick. Let's get it over with.
Sir Crispy.
Yeah, Sir Crispy. He had us fooled. We all loved him the first couple episodes, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was like a full 180 on my feelings for Sir Crispy.
Yeah, I've never not liked a character so fast from like one single episode, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lack of communication once again. Also, he just couldn't handle rejection, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the understatement.
That's all it is. He just couldn't handle rejection.
But Sir Criston wears the armor of, the Kingsguard and protecting Rhaenyra, and I just think it's a good moment to shout out all the Kingsguard armor with the white cloaks.
Yes.
It's a very solid armor. It sucks seeing it on Criston, but anyone else who wears it, I'm like, that is some badass armor.
It absolutely is. And it's like, it's elegant yet practical.
Yeah.
Like, I like that part of it.
Yeah.
And I love that the cloak detaches. I don't know why, but I just
Right.
so satisfying to me.
When one of the characters at the end like just pulled his cloak off, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, how did he
Like,
do
oh,
that?
yeah. What is this magic?
They can take them off.
Yeah, is there a zipper on there? How? Velcro, perhaps? I don't know, but it's cool.
But are you ready for a time jump after our break?
Yeah. Let's take a break so our characters could age up 20 years.
20 years, multiple times.
Like 50 kids.
50 kids, age up 2 or 3 times.
A divorce, a wedding. Yeah, all that. Let's take a break.
Hello, Blogcast listeners. It's Elizabeth Joy Glass, co-host and producer of the Art of Costume Blogcast. If you're like me, you love to show your support with a comfy tee or tote bag. Well, now you're in luck and can show your support for the show and grab some sweet merch by heading over to theartofcostume.com/podstore. There you can buy some awesome TeePublic merch with the Blogcast logo, such as a shirt, sticker, tote bag, and a baby onesie for all your little costume mavens in the making. Thank you for all your support, and head over to the Art of Costume /pod store for all our great merch.
All right. Are we ready to talk about House Velaryon?
Yes.
I'm so ready. Honestly, I feel like I want to be a part of House Velaryon. All right, I'll just say it. Princess Rhaenys is my favorite character, and I just love her, and I want to be
no
wherever
doubt.
she is.
I love her.
Fair. Fair.
She's my new ride or die Cersei Lannister character.
Good.
Wherever she goes, I go.
I like it. I like it. This is a better choice for you as well.
Yeah. And Cersei Lannister.
I miss Cersei. Oh my gosh.
Spencer.
Yeah. She was definitely intelligent. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about House Velaryon. I am a big fan. I love how they know how to make an entrance.
They do.
Mhm.
And their costumes are always to, the gods. Going all the way to Rhaenyra's wedding with Laenor, when they all walk in, that massive group of Velaryons, I was sold.
Yes.
They're just so badass.
The black and gold they had going, it was like
Yeah.
perfect.
Right.
Especially Laenor. His wedding outfit, I was like, yes, sir. You understand that,
Laenor was a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wedding outfit was nice. I think all of the Valyrian textiles just feel so regal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely feel like their house keeps more of like a Valyrian look to them too, because they're just like out doing their own thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I especially love the blue. All the blues look
Yes.
excellent.
Because they're of the sea, which is also cool. I'm like, I love this of the sea moment. All the blues. Lord Corlys is such a baddie. I know that he has like some hit and miss episodes, especially when he has like a mental breakdown and goes to war for like so many years and leaves Rhaenys alone.
Yeah.
And comes back all injured and be like, what happened? But like, I just, every time I see him, I'm like, this is excellence. He's a cool guy. I want to be on his team. I'm so glad he chose Rhaenyra's side in the end, because that would have been bad for me.
I love
You've been
that.
torn.
Yeah. I love that Rhaenys was like, no. Because he's like, you know what? You're right. We should stay out of things. And she was like, No, not this time.
Just like, bitch, I just broke my dragon out of. We're too late. We're past that. We gotta pick a side.
Yeah. She's like, this is the one time we can stay out of it. You didn't listen to me all the other times, but you're listening to me now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then Lord Corlys and Rhaenys's daughters too. I was just like everyone in this, and then eventually Daemon's daughters too. There's lots of daughters happening. Icons.
I love when she just goes after Daemon. She's just like, hey, I'm single, you're single.
Yeah.
What's up?
You're low-key unstable.
Yeah.
You're low-key unstable, but you'll let me ride a dragon, so let's get this.
I wish we saw more of her.
Yeah.
I
She
know.
seems like such a badass character.
Right? When she stepped in front of the old lady grandma dragon, I was like, no, please. I don't. Please, no.
Are people calling her like Mima?
Yeah. Meemaw dragon.
Mima Vagar.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Special request to HBO, no more traumatic birth scenes. I've had enough.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Like,
That was what this season was.
I've learned so much about childbirth this past 10 weeks that I don't. No more. I'm good.
who I wish had not gone quite yet, King Viserys. While he does not, while they do not change actors for his age up, he starts looking rough.
Yeah.
Little.
He's giving full on Gollum when he enters the cave for the first time in Return of the King. I love Viserys. It was so hard seeing him wither away, but when he's at the end of his life and he walks into the throne room ready to put some haters to quiet and he's wearing that gold mask, I mean, oof. I was just like, such chills I got. And also another underrated costume moment for Viserys is when he's in his deathbed and he's wearing like this really dramatic golden robe with this big like golden cup. Like he's serving right now in his deathbed. He looks good.
Got with a bang.
Yes.
Yeah, that gold mask moment was badass.
Oh, it was. And I was like, he does all this the day he dies. And then you still are like, yeah, let's just overthrow the daughter. Like, let's believe the lie that on his deathbed a couple hours later he changed his mind. Okay.
Yeah. Psychotic.
Yes.
But I also was like, Viserys, it is not time for story time. We already get it. Jon Snow is going to save us one day. We need to let this go. Also, Elizabeth, this is what I wanted from the Phantom of the Opera, is what Viserys was giving in this final episode.
This is what you wanted?
Yes, I think the Phantom mask looks cheap. This is what I wanted.
Yeah, but the Phantom is like a lonely guy in a flooded basement, Spencer. He doesn't have the resources that King Viserys does. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have that Targaryen money.
No.
Whatever, I guess.
I will say, I thought Viserys was going to die like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Every episode for like 6 episodes. I was like, okay, he's dying this time.
This is it.
Yeah.
After Rhaenyra's wedding, and it shows, the preview for next week after like the 10-year time jump or whatever. And I saw Viserys sitting there. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
You're like, are you serious?
How is this man still alive? Ugh. Yeah, that was crazy.
He was definitely still alive and raised some very questionable children.
Right. How did he go so wrong after going so right,
I don't know. I don't know how Alicent on her high moral horse let 2 of her children get married. I don't know how any of this happened, and I wish there was explanation.
So at this point in the show, we're at the Team Blacks versus Team Greens. So let's start with the Greens. Alicent and all of her children and her very questionable father.
Mm-hmm.
I will say older Alicent, she does get some like pretty badass style, especially now that she's found religion is what she said. But like she starts, okay, hear me out. When she finds religion, she starts to bring in a little bit of that Cersei influence to her costumes. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little bit more structured, a little bit more frightening. Like I wouldn't want to be left in a room with Alicent because she's so like
intense.
Is she gonna have Sir Kristen bash my head in?
She feels unhinged.
Is she gonna give me some juicy gossip? I don't know.
Go either way.
Right. No, I do love older Alicent's style. Like she just like she looks so good. She like updates her wardrobe to look very regal and queen-like and expensive. She's like, yes, I'm the queen. Before she was like, oh, I'm just the king's wife. But she's like, no, I am the queen. And you're all are going to listen to me.
Yeah. The actress who plays older Alicent even said that too. She said at one point she just was referring to herself as Viserys's wife. And she's like, no, I'm the queen of Westeros. And she really picks that up in her costumes in the second half of this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how just through the costume, you can tell how different her sons are.
What is with Aemon Targaryen and being like a full-on anime villain with that eye patch? He looks like someone you would see in like Cowboy Bebop or something. He's scary.
I don't know, but I think he saw some portraits of young Daemon and was like, yes. Yeah. Like he heard about him slaughtering all those people when he was like the head of the Gold Cloaks, and he was like, yes, that is the energy I need to become king.
My icon.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, that Daemon is definitely his inspiration.
Yeah.
I just also love his stares. He tries to blend in. There's one scene where he wears like a hood around town and he's supposed to be in disguise, and everyone's like, I know it's you, scary guy. Like stay away. Stay away from me.
Scary guy with the eye patch. There's only so many people.
Yes. He always looks ready for a fight. Like all his clothes look like some sort of armor. Unlike his brother, who just looks like the spoiled, wealthy brat that he is.
Gives very much Joffrey energy.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah. Like spoiled, like drunk all the time.
Yeah. Just like frat boy energy.
Yeah.
It's weird. He like had a weird moment right before he was crowned king where he was like, I really don't want this. And I was like, we're on the same page. Like, let's let this man go.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt
what Aemon said.
yeah, I felt so bad for him for a second.
Yeah.
But then once we get to the coronation, which we'll talk about in a little bit, when he gets that sick ass, crown and outfit and the big sword, he was like, okay. I kind of like it.
Anybody's gonna go along with that. Like, let's get real.
Honestly, I would have too. I'd be like, all right, like let's start finding my sister, I guess, and we gotta bring her to justice. Not the sister I married, but the sister that we need to have killed.
Yes, your half sister / aunt. The only child of hers I do feel sorry for is the daughter, though.
Right.
She's like, I just want to be here and have my premonitions and like not be involved.
She gives full on like Luna Lovegood vibes.
Yes. Yes. I love her little speech. Her little speech at the family dinner. I'm like, oh, okay.
It was cute. I bet you Jany was thinking about Luna Lovegood when she was doing her costumes.
I bet you, because like they're all very simple, but they all have like something like a little bit interesting about them. Whether it's like the texture or the jewelry she's wearing, there's always like a little something, but it's still all very simple. Like she doesn't really care that much. And
they're all like uncharacteristically like bright too.
Yes.
Like because Team Green is like very serious at this point. They're always looking like villains. And then there's the one daughter who's like, I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. That's like where I see the connection between her and Luna.
Yes. Who's this guy?
Oh, you don't want to talk about the foot fetish guy?
Not really, but he's here, so I guess so.
Yes, we have to.
Oh, yeah.
I hated him so much because he
might be my most hated character.
Yeah. Larys and Otto are like the two people responsible for manipulating Alicent into her thinking that Aegon should be king. Like they are the two people solely responsible for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also hate him too. But his costume to me says like he's like a shady guy. It says that in his costume too, how he's always wrapped in all these layers and scarves and like low-key hood moments. He's just like that shadowy figure that you shouldn't be speaking with. But then he wears like a little bit like sometimes brighter colors though to like almost throw you off your game. But he's messy. Don't talk to this guy.
He's very messy.
Sometimes I feel bad for Alicent just because she she puts up with it because he's giving her information, but at the same time, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just give me.
I feel bad that she's just so oblivious to what they're doing to her.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I also don't know that I think she fully knows that she fucked up.
Yeah.
And her only direction is going forward with this.
Yeah.
I don't think she's enjoying it. She just doesn't see a reality where she could, especially now that her son just turned her friend's son into a chicken nugget with Mima, the grandma. Like, I bet you season 2 is going to start with Alicent being like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Look at all of you all. And now we have to go to war. And she doesn't enjoy it.
No.
And you can see it in her face, too. Like, she's constantly, like, got that look in her eye where she's like, how did I end up here? Like,
yeah.
She's like, looking back on it, her uncle having sex with Rhaenyra was not the worst thing that ever happened to me.
No.
I could have handled that so differently.
Yeah.
Well, Rhaenyra's ready to handle her life differently when she finally gets married to Daemon.
The way we all wanted this is so disturbed.
Very problematic.
Yes. But Janine talked to Grazia a lot about their wedding outfits. She wanted both Daemon and Rhaenyra to be wearing the same thing because she said, I wanted the same for both because I wanted them to be equal. She also said about it that their wedding is an exchange of blood and very barbaric and archaic way of getting married. And I wanted their robe to sort of equal that. So she is like, in this moment, they are equals in this barbaric wedding tradition. But they're also both very happy.
Right. I thought it was such a cool scene. It felt very just traditional. They came back to the traditions of their house. Wearing just this, the colors on it are so beautiful because they're so muted and depleted. But then there's that slight red blood color to it. Obsessed.
Obsessed. Yeah. I also love just the way they shot this scene and the lighting in it. It just everything, the costumes, it all really works together. And you're like, this is creepy, but kind of hot.
Yeah. I think it's even creepier that they made all their kids watch.
Yeah.
You know, all these confused children, they were all just please, can we go home?
True, but
someone
had to witness the wedding and nobody was friends with them at that moment. So they literally just had their children. But this brings us to Team Black, looking so good. So good all the time.
Yeah. Emma D'Arcy, who plays Rhaenyra at this point, I mean, an icon. They deserve an Emmy 100%.
Yeah. Most of the people in this cast deserve an Emmy.
Yeah, we're going to run out of Emmys. I love Team Black because it's funny that they're called Team Black, but their costumes, they're kind of edgier, a little bit more goth, but they're also something about Rhaenyra's kids are a little bit more, because they have a different father. but they feel a lot more bright and cheery and homely. They give like Stark energy, actually, to me.
Yeah, that's because she raised them to be like honorable people, unlike Alicent. Like she actually raised them to care about.
Yeah, it's like they're dressed like the cool emo goth kids, but they're like the most honorable, nice people you could hang out with.
Well, yeah, they're like those goth kids you're really afraid of. And then like you trip down the stairs and they're the first people to come help you up. Like,
I think they got that like parental affection and like love that Queen Alicent and Viserys didn't really give to their kids much.
Right.
No, that is very true. Even Daemon's daughters, he might not have been like in love with their mom, but like he really cares about them.
Yeah.
I feel like he was as in love with their mom as he could be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like he definitely, there was something there, and I think he was sad when she got crispied up by the dragon.
Yeah. He would have dragged her away if the dragon hadn't in that very moment. Like,
but also, like he also knew he was gonna be fine though.
Yeah.
Which is sad. And then House Blacks, they combine with the Velaryons in the end too, which I was so relieved about, because I need Rhaenys on my team.
Yes. Yeah, because she was very much like Switzerland for a while there.
She was, until she put on that sick armor and got on the dragon.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think it's like when that night breaks her out, it's when she starts to like really think like, okay, maybe them being in charge is not a good idea if like one of their knights is turning against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love how they just kind of consolidate and like just really have a cohesive look between all of them, especially with the daughters getting engaged to Rhaenyra's sons. They go from like the Velaryon blue to like the black and red of the Targaryens. And I'm like, yes, cohesion. I like it.
This is messy. Which technically they're all supposed to be Velaryons. We tend to forget.
Yeah.
But they're just like some random house's sons. Yeah, so good. I love all of them. I love the use of like all the black, but then all the red accents. I love their continuity between all their costumes. They're really experts at this.
They definitely are. I especially like this last number from Rhaenys, the like black quilted velvet with like the leather and like the metal detail. It's like, it's so like, she's like, I'm ready for this war. Like,
she's not saying anything, but you can see on her face, she's like, pick me.
Yeah.
I'm like fully pissed at this point.
Yeah. Like, she's like, I couldn't be queen, but damn it, you're gonna be queen.
Yeah, it will not be Alicent.
Speaking of her badass armor, Jany had a lot of fun with it. She told Dracarys, I wanted something powerful but feminine. I had 2 female armor moments that were important. The first one is the one of Rhea, who was Daemon's wife that was killed. And she was in a leather breastplate. And Rhaenys' armor is much stronger because Rhaenys is much bigger and stronger character. I wanted to give her a more important armor, and I needed the shoulder for the cape. I think that the armor was very successful, but they're not so heavy because they're made with plastic. So it's not worse than wearing a corset, for instance. Can you believe that's plastic?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But Rhaenys' armor, I mean, when I saw her on that dragon, Elizabeth, you and I were on Zoom when we were watching this, but I was muted, so you couldn't hear me. But I was like fully freaking out the entire episode because I was like, please don't kill Rhaenys. Please don't kill Rhaenys. She smashes down that armor, and I gave like the biggest high-pitched scream. I was just so happy. She looks so cool.
Yeah, she looks freaking sweet.
She does. And it's such a like, dang, things are about to go down moment. Like, it was the perfect way to end that episode, and she looked perfect for it.
Yeah, she just looks at everyone and gives them like the look like, you fucked up. But you're going to live to see another day, unfortunately for you.
Yeah, that moment was like the perfect way to end that episode.
And with that, all we have at the end is a king and a queen. And who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? We all know it's Rhaenyra probably, but
I feel like there's going to be no winners, actually.
yeah, probably all
Someone-
losers, but
Yeah.
Based on the history books.
But yeah, let's talk about these coronation looks. Let's start with the guy we don't like first, which is Aegon. I
Yeah.
will say, Aegon's final look with that sick black crown. This is what I want for my coronation.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I gotta give it to him. It was a good look. There's no
Good look.
question in my mind why all of a sudden he's like, I guess I could be king. I look
Yeah.
fucking killer right now.
he looks
That was pretty
good.
good.
He looks so good in that moment.
I like that it's that like gray black like gunmetal color.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like not fully black, but it's almost there.
It reminds me of Dragonstone, which is like part of the whole facade, isn't it? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm Targaryen. Like, okay.
Liar.
Yeah, your mom didn't manipulate you into being a Hightower, sure. But I gotta say, I think I like Rhaenyra's look more because it's much more regal and like more what you would imagine somebody would wear to their coronation. Like his is scary. Hers is like soft but strong. Love that little like yes, she's in mourning for her child, but she's got this great red velvet like neck coming up. The gold of her father's crown matches the gold of her like fasteners. It's so perfect.
Yeah. That crown came at a perfect moment because her look was ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it come like while they were cremating her child?
Yeah.
They were at the funeral.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like at
It was a very weird funeral for everyone who was present.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, okay, I guess this is happening now.
I don't know how to feel.
With that, this brings us to the end of House of the Dragon season 1. And now we begin the long wait for season 2, which will be like 20
years.
4 at the earliest.
I don't like, oof. I'm like, I'd be shocked if they got it out next year. Very happy, but so shocked that like, yeah,
There's no way.
it's going to be like 2 years. I'm not happy about it, but
I think I saw an interview the other day from an HBO exec. He said, like, hopefully 2024. Like, it
Oh my
doesn't,
God.
like, it's going to be like 24, 25.
they just need to halt all other productions till
We don't need Euphoria. We don't
No.
need.
we don't need whatever excellent documentary series they were planning on. We don't need it. Yeah, I can't wait. I really hope Jany does the second season.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
me
like
too.
I feel like she's going to. In all the interviews, she was like, I loved working on this.
Yeah. I mean, this is an incredible project for her. And honestly, I think she's definitely going to be nominated for an Emmy for costume design. No question.
Oh, yeah. If not win. Like, we've had a lot of good ones this year, but I was like, oof, having to
Yeah.
design for so many main characters, like the amount of times they switch actors, like, dang.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's going to come down in fantasy. I think it's going to come down to Jany and Kate Hawley for Rings of Power. And
Probably.
that's all.
Oh,
The winner is going to be whoever has the strongest marketing campaign with all that Amazon or HBO money. Like, that's who the winner will be. it's our own real life version of House of the Dragon.
oh no. Oh
Oh no.
First time ever. There's a tie.
Yeah, let's just not even talk about it. I don't want to think about this horrible scenario.
No, it's stressful thinking about that. With all that being said, are you ready to play our favorite game?
Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna choose.
That's okay. We have time. We have all the time in the world.
Hit it, Daniel.
The one costume to rule them all.
I guess I'll go first since I seem to be the only one ready. While Elizabeth and Emily are still thinking about it, my one costume to rule them all was Rhaenys's armor when she smashes out the floor with the dragon.
Yes.
Like, I knew in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, she's alive. Also, I found my one costume to rule them all. Like, there's a lot of emotions happening. It's just so badass. And I love that the armor works with her sickening hairdo also.
Mhm.
You could say whatever you want about the wigs of the show, but Rhaenys's is just laid perfectly. Yeah, it's just, I love that costume. I can't even think of a second place for me. It's all about Rhaenys's armor.
Oh, I'm so conflicted, but I have to say, I think my one costume to rule them all is Rhaenyra's investiture costume.
Okay. Yeah.
The red dress, the cloak, the headpiece, the earrings.
Yeah.
It all comes together. It's her stepping into like the role she's gonna put first for the rest of her life. And it's kind of like the iconic look we all already knew was coming. Like,
Yeah.
that was what they advertised with, because they were like, yes, this is like an important moment. It's where she makes...
It's on all the billboards in Los Angeles right now.
Yes. It's where she makes her ultimate choice. Gotta say, though, her first wedding dress. Everybody just know, in general, I'm not good with names. And this season of House of Dragon just destroyed my ability to recognize its name. Like, Spencer can tell you, like, I don't know how many times Daniel has had to cut out me, like, mispronouncing a name or giving someone the wrong name.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm listening to the audiobook right now and keeping track of like everyone. I've been listening to it while I'm driving, and keeping track of everyone's names while I'm listening to the history is like a task.
I can't imagine. Ooh,
Yeah, that sounds difficult.
Yeah. I should get the audiobook.
Don't tempt Elizabeth.
Sorry.
All right, Emily. What is your one costume to rule them all? This is the moment.
This is the moment. So I actually was deciding between three. The two that you guys chose.
Okay.
And then the third was Daemon's armor.
Oh, yeah. How did none of us pick Daemon? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, right? It's because he wears several different armor looks, but they're like all just slightly different from one another. And I don't know. I feel like I might have to go with that one. I love your guys' choices too, though.
Right.
And runner up, Alicent's wedding look that we didn't get to see.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
That was in the back of my head. That was such a slay moment, HBO. What's wrong with you? But you made me watch that guy with the feet. I'm so mad at you.
As soon as the DVDs are out, like, I'm not joking. Like, HBO has my money because I need to see that wedding scene.
Yeah.
So good.
It probably would have added so much humanity to her character.
I think it would have. And I have to say, like, I love this season. It was perfect. I wish they had taken more time, because I'm like, a lot of what they just skipped over, I think, would have explained a lot about Alicent and Rhaenyra's like relationship. And I think they could have like held off on aging them all up a bit longer.
Yeah, we could have done it a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then we could have gotten more of Daemon's wife. Really blanking on her name right now. Daemon's first wife?
Yeah. I'm like, which one?
Daemon's second wife.
Oh, no. It's his second wife.
The one he smashed in the head with a rock, or the one got crispied by a dragon?
Yeah. How did we all see that scene and we're still like, yes, he's going to be a great husband for Rhaenyra?
I know. And then when he like starts to choke out Rhaenyra in the finale, and everyone was shocked. We're like, what is this behavior?
It's like he straight up murdered his first wife.
Yeah, with a rock.
This is why, like, everybody just like go re-examine why you like Daemon so much. I certainly am. I'm currently doing that.
Yeah. My problem, what's concerning me is I really actually like Aemond too. Like,
oh, that is concerning.
Okay.
That's concerning.
But also, it's not uncommon. I've heard this from quite a few people now.
Yeah, I've heard it. I mean, he's clearly like off his rocker, but at the same time,
You're at the same time, you're like, I like it.
yeah,
It's the eye patch, isn't
it's
it?
the eye patch. It's the mystery.
Yeah. With that brings us to the end. Emily, thank you so much for being a guest host with us. It's so good to see you and have you here with us.
Of course, it was so much fun.
We're going to have you back for something more fun next year, too.
Yes, I would be happy to be back. Would love it.
And with the end of House of the Dragon, it is also starting to come down to the end of year, everyone. We only have a few more episodes left. I know it feels like we just left Halloween, but it's the holiday season here at the Art of Costume Blogcast as of next week.
It's the holiday season. I'm so excited.
Next week, Elizabeth and I are watching The Grinch, a incredible costume film. So I hope you all join us for that. I mean, let's be real. You're all at Target buying Christmas trees and gifts already.
Yeah.
So let's just not sugarcoat it. Let's just get right into it. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave us a voicemail at 626-515-1826. Tell us what your favorite costume was and why it was Rhaenys' armor. Elizabeth, I don't do social media.
And if you're missing us in between episodes, you can get some extra Blogcast content from us at the Art of Costume Pod on Instagram, at the Art of Costume on TikTok. If you want an extra episode each month, you can hit up our Patreon at patreon.com/theartofcostume. Like you said, it's the holiday seasons. You got to get those gift lists checked off and get your favorite costume lover a Art of Costume Blogcast sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever they like. Get it at theartofcostume.com/podstore. And if you really loved us, we would really appreciate it if you left us a little 5-star text review on Apple Podcast. In the meantime, bake some cookies. It's that time of year, everybody.
Get in the holiday spirit.
Yeah. Nothing says holiday spirit like House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Go on Pinterest. Look up, just put in the search bar, House of Dragon holiday cookies. I'm sure something will pop up.
Yeah.
Like, get to it, everybody. And have a wonderful week.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
The Art of Costume Blogcast is hosted and produced by Elizabeth Joy Glass and Spencer Williams. Our audio engineering and editing is done by Dan White. Follow us on Instagram at The Art of Costume Pod or visit theartofcostumeblogcast.com for all blogcast updates. If you want to support the show, go to theartofcostume.com/podstore. Or you can head over to patreon.com/theartofcostume for some bonus content. For more costume reviews, deep dives, and interviews, head over to theartofcostume.com, a blog dedicated to highlighting the best in costume design.
We have our young, oh my gosh, Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra?
Who is she?
I almost called her Rhaenys, and then I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Fair
second.
enough.
That's not right.